In episode 3, we started the longest leg of our expedition between two gas stations. We left the small town of Antofagasta and crossed the largest salt pan in the world, the Salar de Antofalla. Next, we will drive across the Salar de Arizaro and the Salar de Pocitos to finally arrive in the town of San Antonio de los Cobres. There is no services en route and only one gas station in San Antonio, hopefully open. The area is off limits to regular cars. It is four-wheel drive only because of the long distances, very rough roads, high altitude and extreme climate. Highway tires will not survive the punishment and will leave the driver in a potentially life-threatening situation. This morning we left Antofagasta de la Sierra and drove to the Salar de Antofalla. We are now stopped at a place called Ojos del Campo. We're stopped for lunch. Katy is cooking inside the truck, and not cooking, I'm not talking about the weather because it's actually quite nice inside the truck in the shade. It's hot here outside in the sun. Ojos del Campo is a group of 3 small lagunas, and each one of them has a different color. Since we left the Ojos del Campo, it's been 2 hours of teeth-shattering corrugation like this. Can't wait to be at the Cono de Arita, where we're planning to spend the night. I hope you can hear me because it's shaking and rattling so much. We're dirty, dusty, and tired, but we're glad to have arrived here at the Cono de Arita. This is a volcanic cone that never erupted, so it has a perfect triangular shape. And the base altitude is 3,200 meters. We found a place to spend the night, have a cold beer, and tomorrow we'll continue on towards Tolar Grande, which is kind of a hamlet, I guess. 70 kilometers on the other side of the Salar, the salt pan. It is just below freezing outside this morning, but the sun is out and it's really warm. So we're gonna have breakfast inside the truck, but we have the door and window, everything wide open. Our home-baked sourdough bread is gone now, so we have to buy whatever we can find in the villages we cross. But Katy just pan-fried some white bread we got yesterday. We have butter left, peanut butter, some locally made jam that we bought on the way, and of course our cappuccino. We've been able to maintain our diet pretty well. Yesterday Katy stir-fried some vegetables that she bought in the morning. Last night I made simple guacamole with avocado, a little bit of lemon juice and olive oil, salt and pepper, and we spread that on 2 tortillas that Katy pan-fried as well, and that was our light evening meal. There are no words in the human vocabulary to describe these vast and immense landscapes we have been traversing in the last few days. But you certainly do feel a superior power at work in the creation of all this. You also feel very small as a human being, and you do feel like this superior power basically controls your journey across these landscapes and also your journey across life. After the long crossing of the Salar de Arizaro, the landscape becomes very dramatic and strange hills lead us into the small town of Tolar Grande. It is a train station town, now a base for mining companies and a start point for exploring the area. It is very quiet on this Sunday morning. Just outside Tolar Grande, by the side of the road, there is another spot with small colorful lagunas. We are now starting the 200-kilometer drive towards San Antonio de los Cobres. Gradually, we're slowly losing some altitude. We're hoping to find the gas station open, but today is Sunday.
Okay. Stop so.
And breathe. Oh, one more. Stop here.
Right. He's coming.
Oh, macaroni. altitude, Kenzie, that you told earlier?
4,470.
Wow. It's almost 4,500 meters. We reached the small town of San Antonio de los Cobres. We're now in the province of Salta. This is really, I don't know if we can say the middle of nowhere. Anyways, we did find the gas station. We did get a full tank of diesel. Of course, they wouldn't take credit cards here, but that's fine. So we're good to go. We're going to proceed now to our planned campsite. So we've got, again, diesel, we've got enough water and enough food to last for the next day. If everything goes well, tomorrow we'll be in a very small town as well, but this one is picturesque and cute and has a nice little municipal campground. We found a flat spot with a fire pit by the side of the road. So we decided to stop there to spend the night. To our surprise, an hour later, a gentleman by the name of Claudio came down with a herd of sheep along the stream. So that was a very interesting sight. We had a little chat with him, and he told us his 80-year-old mother was following with a herd of llamas. So of course, as a photographer, I was very excited about that.
Belle braise.
And we spent the rest of the evening around the campfire watching the stars. This morning we woke up among the llamas. They're walking up to higher altitudes to graze. As far as we're concerned, we're gonna have breakfast, do our morning chores, and then start the drive. The road will start climbing immediately, and the switchbacks will take us again to an elevation of 5,000 meters. We stopped for the required photo at the Abra de la Calle, the highest point along the Route 40. We're greeted by a little fox. We drove Route 40, the famous Ruta 40, down the Abra de la Calle, which offers some very beautiful views, but is at times very stressful because it becomes very narrow. This family lives here 80 kilometers from the nearest town. They don't have access to healthcare, and the kids don't get to go to school. Signs that we are approaching civilization. We hadn't seen trees or a farm in a week now. The Incas have left traces of their passage in many areas of the region. To protect them from vandalism, these granaries can only be viewed through metal bars. We finally arrived to the small and cute town of Cachi in the province of Salta. It looks very busy with tourists. We are now established in the municipal campground, one of the best kept in Argentina, to our knowledge. Every parcel is shaded, clearly delimited from its neighbor by a hedge. Every parcel has its own barbecue, a table, and a pair of electric outlets. The campground also has simple but clean bathrooms with hot showers. We need desperately a shower. It's been several days since the last one, and we've eaten a lot of dust since then. We also need to wash our clothes. And we also have to give the truck some well-deserved love, because we drove quite a few hundreds of kilometers of dusty, rough roads and tracks, often at high altitudes, and it never failed us once. And then we'll take 2 or 3 days to do some more conventional tourism in and around town. Driving down to Cachi, we met two interesting ladies traveling in an unconventional vehicle. Laura and Olga drive a 1973 Méhari made by Citroën. This one was made in Argentina. It's all original. And their goal on this trip is to drive the famous Ruta 40, Route 40, which is 5,100 kilometers long, and it runs north to south. And they want to drive it entirely, so they started their trip at the border between Argentina and Bolivia in a small town called La Quiaca. And they're driving all the way south to the province of Santa Cruz in the south of Argentina. And they came up and down the same way we did, so up and down the Abra de la Calle, 5,000 meters in altitude with this little car. And I'm sure it took them longer than it took us, but they succeeded. So believe it or not, the two of them can sleep inside this little car. It's still a bit of a mystery to me how they manage. Even with a demonstration, it's hard to believe. Sí. Wow, justo.
Sí. Así.
Sí, sí.
Cuando estás online.
Here we rested and relaxed. We are now ready to resume our drive south on the famous Ruta 40, Route 40. We won't reach the pavement for the next couple of days, and tonight we'll be camping in the wild again.